Carly with the UNF Student Health and Wellness Complex, and today we're going to be doing a mixed level yoga class. So we're going to start on our mat in child's pose. So we're going to bring our knees nice and wide, almost to the very edges of our mat, just starting to sink the hips back toward the heels, and then walking the hands out gently, allowing our chest to fall forward, fall toward the mat, allowing our forehead to maybe even drop to the mat. And maybe we just rock the head side to side on the mat to get a little bit of a forehead massage. Just starting to sink into the space here. Starting to listen to our breath while we're in child's pose. We create a nice little amphitheater with our legs and our chest and the mat. A good place to start to listen to our breath, to really pay attention to it. Maybe starting to lengthen the inhales and exhales. Trying to see if we can make them match even. And taking a couple more breaths. Checking in with the body, seeing what might feel tight, what might feel heavy, places we might want to work. And wherever we are, we're going to start to exhale, starting to empty all of the air out of the very bottom of our lungs, really pressing through the low core. And together we'll inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Starting to find our own breath here. Maybe it's a little bit longer, maybe it's a little bit shorter, but still trying to keep those inhales and exhales the same length. And while we're in our child's pose, we'll start to walk our right hand to the very edge of the mat, allowing the left palm to stack over top, really trying to push away with that left hip. So the left hip pulls back and the left hand pushes forward. So we really start to feel a nice opening in the side body. Just breathing here. Not trying to shrug our shoulders way up by our ears, allowing them to relax. We'll start to walk our hands back through center, over to the left side, so the left palm finds the edge of the mat, the right palm stacks over top, and this time the right hip shoots back. We push forward with the right hand, so we open up the other side. Just gently starting to warm into the body. We'll walk our hands back through to center, and then about a foot forward, so slowly sliding the hands forward and dropping the chest a little bit deeper. So we come into a little bit of a puppy pose, nice way to start to stretch through our back, through our shoulders. Maybe the chest falls onto the mat, maybe we're not quite there. Just finding a nice position, something where we start to feel a little bit of a stretch, but it's not too intense. We'll start to walk our hands back through to center. We'll bring our knees in just a little bit, so the knees are hips width distance, the shoulders are stacked directly above the wrists, and the hips directly above the knees. So we come into our tabletop and settle in, finding a nice flat spine, with the elbows more so turned forward, so that inner crease of the elbow shoots to the top of our mat. And then on inhale, we'll go ahead and drop the belly, look up. So we find our cat, or our cow rather. And exhale, pressing away, really rounding through the spine. Now we're at our cat. Our inhale takes our gaze up, pulls our belly down. And our exhale, we press away through the hands, lifting the spine up as much as possible, really tucking the tailbone. One more, inhaling through to cow. Feeling some nice movement in the spine. Exhale, pressing away, back to our cat. So we'll find our nice tabletop here, and we'll start to lengthen the right foot back and the left arm forward. Maybe that the right foot is back. Maybe that right foot stays on the mat. Maybe it starts to lift. Either way, we still keep a nice flat spine, gazing at the top edge of our mat. Our inhale will lengthen a little bit further, really pulling through the right heel and the left middle finger. Exhale, we'll tuck knee to nose, rounding out that spine so we find that cat spine. Inhaling, we lengthen. Exhale, compressing back. Inhale, lengthening back out, really growing through the spine, growing through that foot. Exhale, we compress, really pushing away with that right hand. One more, inhale, growing as much as we possibly can. And exhale, compressing and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping the palm, dropping the knee, drop the belly. Inhale, look up. Exhale, rounding through the spine. One more inhale, up through our cow. And exhale, back to neutral, starting to set up for the other side. The left foot lengthens back, the right arm comes forward. Maybe that left foot stays down, maybe it starts to lift. The toes still pointed down, nice active foot and hand. Inhaling, we grow. Exhale, we compress. Inhaling, lengthening back out. Exhale, tucking knee to nose. Inhaling, finding some length, some balance. Exhale, pressing away with the left hand. One more, inhale, lengthening back out, really growing as much as we can, really pressing through that back foot. Exhale, finding that cat spine. On an exhale, we'll drop our palm, drop our hand, drop our belly. Inhale, look up. And exhale through our cat. So we'll find our nice neutral spine. We'll start to tuck the toes under, lifting the knees just to a hover, an inch or so above the mat. And we'll try to do our cat-cows from here. So we'll start to inhale, drop the belly, gaze comes up. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Inhale, finding our cow. But the knees still stay at a hover, really engaging the core. Exhaling, rounding. One more inhale, takes us all the way up. And exhale, we press away with the hands, press away with the feet, coming into our first downward dog. Finding a little bit of movement here, maybe pedaling out the feet, walking our dog, bending one knee at a time. Starting to feel some stretch in the backs of the legs, the calves, the hamstrings, some movement in the ankles. Maybe we start to twist a little bit into one side or the other. Bending into the knees, pulling the hips left and right. And then we'll find our nice tabletop, or our nice downward dog. And we'll slowly start to tiptoe toward the top of our mat, trying to keep our hands as flat as possible, letting the knees bend as much as they need to. And then we'll step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, left foot to the outside of the left hand, and just bend side to side. Just nice little twists here. A nice wide leg forward fold. Finding some stillness, we'll come up onto our fingertips, toe heeling the feet together, coming into our first forward fold. Again, bending into one knee at a time, really gently wanting to warm everything up. Finding some stillness with both feet planted, we'll bend the knees really deep so our chest fully falls onto our thighs. We'll wrap our arms under our knees, around the backs of our legs, and allowing just the head to fall, and us to find a nice little squeeze. Paying attention to our breath here. We'll release the hands, gently starting to straighten the legs, lifting the chest up just a little bit so we find a nice half lift. Maybe the palms come to the shins. Wherever we need to be to find a nice flat spine. Gently we'll fold a little bit deeper, allowing the back to round and the head to fall. And then our inhale will take us all the way up. And exhale to our mountain pose, our Tadasana. Maybe taking the opportunity to close the eyes here a little bit, do a quick body scan. Again, seeing what feels heavy, what feels tight. Or maybe just checking in with the breath, making sure we haven't lost it. We're still maintaining that 4 count, 5 count, whatever we decided to choose. Checking in with our posture, making sure our pelvis is tilted a little bit so the tailbone tucks and the back can start to flatten. The knees have a micro bend. Palms face forward and the shoulders pull back and down. And we're really more so on the outer edges of our feet, so slight external rotation there. A lot of power through the fingertips, through the feet. One more deep breath. And on our inhale, we'll look up, reach up, maybe bending back just slightly. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we half lift, so the palms come to the shins, the chest pulls down, the shoulders pull up. Exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Inhaling, half lift. And exhale, plant the palms, walk, step, or hop into our high plank. We'll pull forward on the tips of our toes, bending the elbows down through Chaturanga. Inhale takes us to up dog. And exhale, tucks the toes, presses away to downward facing dog. We'll take a few breaths here. So again, settling into that down dog we started to find before. We'll inhale, the right foot comes all the way up. Bending into that knee, peeling the hip open to the right side. And exhale, bringing it back to center, lengthening the legs, slowly dropping the right leg down. Maybe pedaling out the feet for a moment. And then the left foot will start to rise. The left knee to bend. The left hip to open. Exhaling, we lengthen that leg back out and slowly set it all the way back down. We'll start to drop our knees here so we come back into our child's pose, resting the forehead on the mat. Just for a moment. We'll start to tuck the toes, lift the hips, lift the knees, back into our downward dog. And that right foot will start to lift again. The right knee will bend, the right hip will open, but this time we'll start to release the right hand, release the right foot onto the ground, the right arm will lift up overhead into our wild thing. Exhaling, planting the palm back down, lifting that right foot nice and high. Exhale, we'll tuck knee to nose. And then we'll bring that right foot onto the inside between our left hand and our left foot, allowing the left arm to reach overhead. Finding our stargazer. On an exhale, we drop the left palm, right foot shoots back. Nice length and big inhale. And exhale, stepping the right foot all the way forward into a nice lunge. Our inhale will take us up. And exhale, drops the palms, walking the right foot over to the right side. Palms come to the inside of the right foot. The left knee can drop. Starting to peel open that right hip. So we come into our lizard. Maybe rocking from side to side. Maybe that foot is peeled open like mine is. Maybe it's still flat. Whatever feels comfortable. We're going to be here for a little bit, allowing our hips to start to open up. Maybe even coming onto our forearms, our elbows. Or maybe we're up on blocks, if that's more comfortable. Our hips tend to be a little bit more stubborn. They take some time to warm up. They take some time to want to open it all for us. So we really try to give them that time, give them that space. Wherever we are, we'll start to come back to long arms if we're on bent arms, and we'll start to peel that foot back in. We'll slowly start to toe heel that right foot back to center, planting the palms, tucking the left toes, lifting that left knee, and stepping the right foot nice and high back to our three-legged dog. And exhale, the right foot falls to the ground. We start to set up for the left side, so the left heel starts to lift. The left knee bends, the left hip starts to peel open. And then the left hand will start to lift and the right foot will fall behind us into our wild thing. Exhale, we drop the left hand, lifting the left foot nice and high. Bending, we tuck the knee into the chest, crossing it between the right foot and the right hand. Right hand starts to lift. So we find our stargazer. Exhale, plant the palm, step the left foot nice and high, bend it deep into the chest, really tucking it in, stepping all the way into our high lunge. Our inhale takes us up. And exhale, we plant the palms, toe heeling that left foot out to the side, so both hands are on the inside of that left foot. The right knee drops, the right toes can untuck. And we'll start to open our left hip. That left foot can start to peel to the outer edge of the foot, the knee out to the side. Again, maybe we're up on blocks here. Maybe we start to come down to our forearms if we want a little bit more. Taking deep breaths, really trying to send that breath to our hips, to our shoulders even, anywhere we're feeling any kind of engagement or any tightness in general. Again, I like to rock side to side a little bit. I like to find some movement, some wiggle. Wherever we are, we'll start to come back to long arms, unpeeling that left foot, and then we'll toe heel that foot back to center, so our hands frame that foot. We'll start to tuck our right toes, lifting the right knee, pressing away with the hands, lifting the left heel nice and high, and exhale, dropping it down onto the ground. So we come back to our downward dog. We'll start to bend our knees nice and low here, coming to that same hover we found before. Gaze comes between the hands, seeing how quietly we can hop into our forward fold. And then exhale, folding a little deeper. Our inhale will half lift, nice flat back. And exhale, releasing all the way down. Inhale, half lift, nice flat back. Exhale, bending the knees a little bit so we can fold a little bit deeper. We can start to release the weight onto our legs. And our inhale will take us all the way up overhead. Maybe back just slightly. And our exhale through to our Tadasana, our mountain. So again, we check in here. We make sure our toes are nice and planted. We're on the outer edges of our feet a little bit more. Our tailbone tucks just slightly. So we find a micro bend in our hips, or micro bend in our knees. And our core starts to engage a little bit. Our shoulders pull back and down so the chest is open and lifted just slightly. And the palms face center. We face the front of the room. If you can hear my dog growling in the background, that's what that noise is. So we find our breath again if we started to lose it. Always trying to come back to the breath. Allowing each of our movements to follow our inhales and our exhales. On inhale, we'll open the eyes, look up, reach up. Exhale, we'll bend low, reach high, Utkatasana, finding our chair pose. I like my feet a little bit closer for this. Seeing if we can bend a little bit deeper, lifting the chest a little higher. Inhale, we'll come all the way up to standing and back just a little bit. And exhale, hands to heart center. Our inhale will take us all the way up. Exhale, bend low, reach high. Our inhale takes us up. Our exhale, hands come to heart center. One more, inhale, arms come up. And exhale, chair pose. Inhale, all the way up to standing, back just a little bit. And exhale, Tadasana. Slowly starting to open our eyes again. We'll bring our hands onto our hips. And we'll start to plant into that left foot with a bit more intention. And with our right foot, all we're really going to do is find a hover. So we're going to suck that leg up into the hip. And just find a hover about an inch or two above the mat. And keeping that nice hover, trying to keep that foot perfectly still, not letting it swing back and forth or side to side. We're slowly going to start to drop our chest forward, nice flat back, trying to get to 90 degrees. Inhale slowly takes us up. See my foot starting to come forward, trying to keep that nice and still. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale takes us up. Exhale. That's 3. Up to standing. 4. Last one. 5. Still gonna keep that foot at a nice hover, but we're gonna start to bend the knee, bring it up into the chest. We're gonna pull it out to the side. When it gets as far out as we can, we'll start to rotate that hip, shooting the leg back as far as we can. We'll rotate the knee down and tuck it all the way back forward. So we find a nice wheel, a nice circular motion here. These are called hip cars. Really trying to warm up our hips. Ooh, and keep our balance at the same time. My core was not quite engaged. There's 3. They're a little tricky. 4, one more. Trying to find that full range of motion each time. 5, exhale, we'll drop that foot down, maybe shaking out our feet. I know my left foot is feeling nice and engaged, my left leg nice and tight. We'll start to do the same on the other side, so we'll plant that right foot down nice and firm. We'll start to suck that left leg up into the hip, trying to find some balance, maybe finding a drishti, something still for our gaze to fall on to keep our balance. We'll slowly start to hinge at the hips. Our inhale takes us up. Exhale, folding forward. Trying to keep that left foot nice and still. Inhale takes us up. Exhale. 3. 4. And 5. So we'll keep that left foot lifted. We'll start to bend into the left knee. Start to pull the left knee out to the side, rotating that foot back, swinging it around. We'll lift the left foot up, tucking the knee into the chest. So we find our hip cars on this side. Again, still trying to keep our balance, trying to find that full range of motion. Three. 4, one more. And 5, exhale, dropping that foot down, shaking out the feet. Again, we'll plant the left foot down nice and firm. We'll suck the right foot in, or the right leg into the hip. And we'll slowly start to lift to the right foot out in front of us, just about at a 45-degree angle. We'll start to cross the right leg over the left, seeing if we can tuck that right foot, the toes of the right foot, all the way around the left calf. We'll inhale, our arms come up overhead. And we start to wrap the left arm under, right arm over, trying to see if the palms can meet and then lifting through the elbows. So we come into our eagle. Trying to find some balance. If that right foot doesn't quite tuck all the way around, that's fine too. You can always just act as a kickstand. One more deep breath. Inhale takes us up, releases our bind. Exhale, drops the foot, shakes everything out. We set up for our left side. So our right foot starts to plant, our left hip starts to lift. We start to bring our foot out about 45 degrees. We start to cross the left leg over the right, seeing if the toes can tuck. This side, my legs don't quite cross that much, that's fine too. Inhale takes our arms up overhead. Exhale, right arm under, left arm over. And again, we lift through the elbows, bending gently into that right knee a little bit. And breathe. One more breath here. Inhale, releasing our bind, lifting up. Exhale, drops the foot, shakes our legs out. And we're gonna plant into that left foot with a lot of intention again. We're gonna lift the right knee into the chest again, but this time we're gonna step the right foot all the way back, nice and slow, as controlled as we possibly can. Inhale, we'll take the arms up. Exhale, we'll bring our hands behind our chest, dropping the chest between or into the inside of that right knee, lifting the hands. So we find our humble warrior. Slowly, we'll start to release the hands down, walking the hands to center. I'm going to be backward for a second, that's fine. We come into a really wide leg forward fold, the toes slightly turn in, the heels slightly turn out. And with our hands on the mat or on some blocks, we try to find a little bit of a fold, some stretch. Letting our inhales try to maintain the depth of our stretch, our exhales maybe pull a little bit deeper. Maybe our hands start to walk behind us. Each inhale trying to maintain our position, each exhale trying to stretch a little bit deeper. And then we'll hold for a few breaths here. 3 of your own inhales and exhales. And we'll slowly start to walk our hands back in front of us. Nice flat back. We'll bring our hands onto our hips, slowly lifting our chest up. We'll bend into the knees a little bit and try to hop our feet together. And wiggle everything out, meeting back at the top of our mat. We'll ground into the right foot, starting to bend the left knee, lifting the left knee into the chest. This time slowly stepping that left knee, that left foot all the way back. Inhale takes us up. Exhale, clasp our hands behind us, dropping the chest to the inside of that right knee. Taking a breath or two here. Exhale, releasing the hands down, starting to turn the feet out. So we come into that wide-legged fold on this side. Again, our inhales, we maintain our position. Our exhales, we fold a little bit deeper. So we really take some time to get to our max. Again, maybe the hands start to come behind us even. Starting to feel some nice stretch. One more breath. And we'll start to walk our hands back in front of us so we find a nice flat spine. Bringing the hands onto the hips, slowly lifting our chest up. Bending into the knees just a little, and hop back to the center of our mat. And wiggling out the legs as we come to the top of our mat one more time. So we settle in toward Tadasana, or mountain pose, what we like to come back to. Our inhale will take our arms up overhead. Our exhale will start to squat into our knees, maybe coming up onto our toes, Slowly lowering into a toe stand to add a nice balance here. Hands come into heart center. We try to keep the ankles closer to each other rather than letting them splay out to the sides. Really trying to find some stillness here, trying to find some engagement, something still for our gaze to fall on, our drishti. And we'll slowly start to use our arms as a counterbalance, so our arms will start to come forward as our hips start to come back and lower, seeing how controlled we can sit onto our mat, just like that. We'll find our seat at the center of our mat, lengthening our legs out in front of us, maybe flexing and pointing the feet. And we'll find some stillness. We'll bend into the right knee, lifting the arms up overhead. Exhale, twisting to the left side so the right elbow comes to the outside of that left knee. The left hand comes behind the hips and pulls us over to the left side. The right foot is nice and engaged, toes pointing back. The chest is lifted, we're not slouched here. The right hand is nice and active. One more big inhale, and exhale. We'll start to release, coming back to center. Our arms will come up overhead. We'll start to twist to the right side. The right hand comes behind the small of the back onto the mat. The left arm can start to reach onto the right calf to pull us out to the side. Or if we're wanting a little bit more, we can try to wrap that left arm around the front of the left leg, reaching back with the right hand, trying to meet it. So we find a little bit of a bind. Still trying to keep the chest lifted, the right foot nice and active. One more inhale. And exhale, slowly releasing the arms, or coming back to center. We'll start to cross the left leg over the right, so the left foot comes to the outside of that right knee. We'll start to bend into the right knee, bringing the right foot by the left hip, and slowly adjusting, walking our left foot out to the side, trying to get our knees to stack as best as possible so we find our Gomukhasana, our cow face pose, rather. Our inhale will take our arms up overhead. Exhale, left arm comes under. Right arm starts to bend, seeing if we can reach our hands together behind our back. This is a good place to have a strap or maybe even a towel to hold if we're not quite there. Or just gently allowing our arms to be in that position even if they don't quite meet. We'll inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, fold just a tiny bit. Our inhale will take us up, releasing our bind nice and gentle. Arms come out to the side, and then release down. We'll start to undo our legs. The left foot finds the mat first. The right leg starts to untuck. And then we'll lengthen that left foot out. Inhaling, the arms come up overhead. Exhale, we twist to the right side so the right hand comes behind the back onto the mat. The left elbow finds the outside of the right knee, and we twist to the right side. That left foot still nice and active, the gaze over that right shoulder. The chest still lifts, not hunching. Nice flat spine here as much as possible. Left hand engaged. One more big breath. And exhale. Inhale will take us back through center, lifting the arms up. Exhale will drop the left hand behind us. The right hand can either find the left calf and start to pull our chest open to the left side, or if we tried the bind on the other side, trying to wrap that right hand behind or in front of our right knee, over to our right hip, and the left arm comes behind, tries to meet, trying to clasp the hands, lifting the chest. Again, nice active left foot. Again, if you hear some barking and growling, that would be my dog, who's making his way this direction. Hi. He's going to do some yoga with us too. Can I help you? We'll slowly start to release our hands. Starting to come up to a nice seated position. The right foot will cross over the left knee. And then the left leg will start to bend so the left foot can come to the outside of the right knee. And then we'll start to stack the right knee above the left, adjusting a little bit, aiming to have our heels by our hips. Inhale, the arms will come up. Exhale, right arm drops and bends. The left arm drops down, the left hand. And again, we try to meet the hands together. This side, especially for me, is a little bit tighter. They don't quite meet. So again, this would be a great spot if you had a strap or a shirt of some sort. He's just gonna hang out. He's gonna do his own stretches. Big inhale, we lift the chest, and exhale, we start to fold forward. Our inhale will start to take us up, undoing our arms. Bring them out to the side first and then down to the mat. The right leg untwists first, and then the left comes to meet it. We'll bring the feet together, heels together, balls of the feet together, big toes together, and we'll slowly start to drop the knees out. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. So we come into our butterfly, maybe sliding the feet a little bit closer. So we'll bring our feet into the body a little bit, not quite to our fullest extent, but maybe a few inches past that, a few inches less than that rather. We'll lift the chest high, and then we'll start to slowly walk our hands forward. He's just gonna hang out with us this entire time, eat his food. So we start to release down onto the mat with each breath, just like we did with our wide-legged forward fold. So our inhales try to maintain. Our exhales, maybe we fold a little bit deeper. You've seen goat yoga, now this is dog yoga, hungry dog yoga. Hi. Still just slowly folding deeper. We always take these folds nice and slow, especially when our hips are open like this. We'll start to walk our hands back to center, gently lifting ourselves up. And then we'll exhale, coming forward. Releasing back down, taking our time to get there. We'll slowly start to inhale, walking the hands back to the body, lifting the chest up. We'll release the legs, shake them out a little bit, shake out the hips. I cannot take them seriously. I'm sorry. We'll shake out the hips a little bit. And then we'll start to bend the legs again. So we'll start to bend the left knee first, grabbing onto the left ankle, starting to cross the left foot over the right hip, the right thigh. So we find a nice half lotus. And we can either fold forward from here, or if you'd like the challenge of a full lotus, you can start to tuck that right foot in. If this is a little bit too much, you can always find less of a bend. Let me cross so you can see. So the ankle of the left foot can find the shin of the right, or it can come up above the knee a little bit. If it's wanting to sit right on top of the knee, we'll go ahead and lower it a little bit further, never wanting to put that pressure on the knee. Or we can try to pull it all the way up into the hip. And if we decide to go for full lotus, we'll start to bend the right knee, grabbing onto the right ankle, and crossing the right leg over top. So both of our feet are above us, or above our legs. And then folding from there. So whether you have a half lotus or a full lotus, just gently folding forward like we did before. We'll slowly start to walk our hands back to center, back to our body. Undoing our bind, so releasing the right leg first if we took that variation, and then the left. It's gonna ignore me. Maybe shaking out the legs again. Like I said, I like to find some wiggle, I like to find some movement. Anywhere I am. Get anything worked out. And we'll start to bend the right knee, crossing the right ankle over the left leg, wherever we want it to be. And always listening to our body, so maybe that's a little bit further of a stretch than the other side, maybe it's a little bit less. We tend to have a good side, or rather, a more open side and a tighter side, not necessarily good or bad, but one side that tends to like a little bit more love, one side that can tend to do without it. So if we decide to take full lotus, we'll start to bend that left knee, crossing the left foot over the right leg. But wherever we are, we'll lift the chest and start to walk our hands out in front of us. Same as we did before, slowly folding. One more big breath, and exhale. On our inhale, we'll start to walk our hands back to center. We'll start to slowly undo our bind, nice and gentle. We'll start to lift the feet up off the ground. Slowly, we'll start to rock ourselves back onto our back, wrapping our arms around our shins, giving a nice tight big squeeze so the forehead comes to the knees. And we really try to lift everything up, engage all the fingers and the toes, every muscle of the face, trying to come just onto a couple sections of the spine. Real full engagement here as much as possible. And exhale, Shavasana. So here it's nice to do a little bit of a body scan. If our low back is feeling a little tight, maybe we bend the knees, or if we want it a little bit flatter, we can lift and tuck the tailbone, flatten out the spine, straighten the legs from there. Maybe they stay bent if our back is uncomfortable. To find a full engagement at the top of our back, we'll start to lift our arms straight up toward the ceiling, Lifting the shoulders up off the ground, opening them nice and wide as we lower the arms down, letting the hands fall about a foot, foot and a half from the body, and then just gently releasing so the feet release and peel open, fingertips curl in, and slowly trying to release each muscle of the body. So doing a mental scan from the toes all the way up through the head, making sure there's nothing left engaged. And just feeling the weight of the body get heavier and heavier on the mat with each exhale. Really feeling the contact between the body and the earth. Trying to forego any lingering thoughts we might have. Here we have the option to take a longer corpse pose, a longer Shavasana, or deciding to slowly start to awaken the body. So if you choose to stay in Shavasana a bit longer, you can disregard whatever I'm saying, or we can slowly start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, maybe rocking the head, yes and no. We'll start to lift the right arm so it falls on the ground by our right ear. And we'll start to roll over onto our right side using the right bicep as a pillow. And using our hands as support, keeping our eyes closed a bit longer, we'll start to lift to any seated position, facing whatever direction we'd like, whatever feels comfortable. We'll find a nice seat. We'll take a big breath in and sigh. One more big breath in and sigh. We'll allow the chin to fall all the way to the chest, head to drop. Gently starting to open the eyes in our own time. And when we're ready, we'll bring the hands to heart center, hands in prayer. And then we'll lift our prayer up to our third eye, the space between the brows. The light in me sees and honors and encourages that same light in each of you. And together we'll say, Namaste. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're still in your Shavasana, I wish you a great Shavasana, and a gentle way to start to awaken out of that. And I hope you guys can go on with the rest of your day, enjoying your day, feeling a bit more awakened and into your body, and trying to stay positive.